The vehicle we're working on is a 1996 Mitsubishi Eclipse. It's the hopped up version. It's the GST. It's turbo and it's the Spider edition. You can't see that because it's clear up on the bumper. I say up because we're on the lift. Right now we're diagnosing two things. One, I've pulled the motor mount out. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And we've had a drivability concern in that you get to the point where the turbo kicks in and it doesn't. The car just stumbles on its face.
Brian's Mobile One.
You don't run into this problem so much anymore with spark plug wires. Everything's coilover plug ignition, it seems like nowadays. But even with those, you still have these little boots on the end of the coilover plug that fails. This thing about ripped apart. It was stuck at the top, stuck at the bottom. I was able to twist the top part and get it to break free, but I wasn't able to get the rest of this out without going to advanced procedures. So I'm going to show you what those are. I use these on a constant basis. I just call them 90 pliers. They're a needle nose plier that's bent at 90 degrees, and that does a couple of things. One, it makes it a parallel gripping surface, whereas normal pliers are going to get farther apart and at an angle. So with this, it just stays the same. That gives you some advantages, and then the 90 also gives you some advantages in being able to pry and use it like a fulcrum. So basically that's what I do to get these to come undone, is I hook up underneath this way, and of course I'm going to break it free side to side. I've done that off camera. But when you go to pull this out, you can pull and pull and pull and pull, and it just doesn't budge. I even got to where I'm like, I'm just going to yank this out, or pry and yank. It's really stuck. I mean, I'm not messing around. You can see what, oh, that one went. I pulled so hard it broke. See how melted that is? This overheated and they're just super stuck. What I was trying to show you, I've already demonstrated that they're stuck and melted in there, is that you can use a indexing pry bar like this. I'll leave a link in the description. You get up underneath of it, and it just enables you to get a lot more bite and a lot more leverage on it to get these suckers to pop. You can grab it this way and see how it just pops it right up. That way you don't have all that fuss getting them to come up and out. If you're flagging hours, you have to learn how to not only do things right, you got to diagnose things right, but you got to do it in a timely fashion, or else you're just not going to make any money out of it. You're not going to be able to get your bills paid. These are about as stuck as they come. So I'm into the wire on that one. Let me get this to burp up and out, and then I'll show you how to fish the rest of it out. Let's look down the hole. So as you look down the hole, you can see where things are broken off. You cannot get a spark plug socket on that, but with the spray silicone, you can get that to kind of break free. And once you do that, then you can get the rest of it off. So I think the plastic is really stuck on the actual porcelain of the plug. So I'm going to get a hammer and cause it to break. If the plastic is melted in a ring on the ribs of the plug, it's never going to come up. So you want to just hit it down and just crack it so that it can expand and come off. The tool for that, rubber mallet. If you break the porcelain, it's not the end of the world. You will have to fish things out though. You just got to make sure that you use compressed air or a vacuum or something to suck it out, so you don't want the porcelain getting down into the valves and piston rings and cylinder wall. So they will chew stuff up. Alright, so once you've gotten things broken up a little bit, then you can go back in. It seems like air compressors and pneumatics are going the way of the electric, but you still need compressed air to blow things out. You can use canned air, like for your computer stuff. See, we're just fishing now. It's just going to take some time. If your car starts to overheat, so many things get cooked and damaged. So many things. It's like things are never this. It's like getting pneumonia. It jacks with your lungs like almost permanently, it seems. Don't overheat. If it starts to overheat, pull over, shut it down, let it cool off. Don't be like, oh no, I need to get this home. It's a race to get home before it overheats because I don't want to inconvenience of a tow job. Tow jobs are cheaper than replacing all the stupid little parts on your engine. Call a tow truck. Alright, so that one's out. Let me show you what it looks like. Spray silicone is basically like buttering a pan. You know, for those of you that cook, if you butter a pan, you get a better result in that things don't stick. You don't have to scrape and whatever, it just comes apart. When things are cooked on, they just really stick. The spray silicone lubricant basically just makes it so that they don't stick. I can just get this one to rotate. See, it doesn't want to, but then the silicone gets in there in between, and now it's spinning freely. Now I can grab it with the pliers and pull it up. Of course, you got your straight needle nose pliers for that. There's half of it done. There's mechanic stuff of like, here's every nitpicking little thing, you know, in the manual, like hold the railing on the stairs and take each step one at a time. And then there's the flagging hours, where you're just like jumping, you know, like striding big steps. I got long legs. When I go upstairs, I usually run. And I don't usually use every single step. Flagging hours as a mechanic in a dealership, you learn all those methods to where you can be productive and make a living for your family doing this. You know, there's one thing to do it in your garage. There's another. See all the, look at all the little melted ribs. There's so many things that you can do to make your job go better and faster, and vice versa. If you don't know these tricks, it can make doing these repairs really frustrating and tedious, to say the least. I'm going to pull these off one at a time, going back through and blow them out. Like I say, this one's already completely done. It didn't fall apart near as bad. Normally, you just twist these to break them free, and then you can pull them right up. If you try to pull them right up, even if everything's hunky-dory and they would be reusable, if the car wasn't overheated, you can still have some significant issues with it. Normally, you just twist these to break them free, and then you can pull them right up. If you try to pull them right up, even if everything's hunky-dory and they would be reusable, if the car wasn't overheated, you can still have some significant issues with it. And I'm squeezing for all I got. And that's all she's got. This one sucks. That's about as bad as they come. This happens when you overheat. See if I can get it to pop. I want to get the top silicone part off. This thing is a greased pig. If you find that you can't get things to come undone, a good course of action is to just start cutting it apart and breaking it. A little push-pull going on it. There we go. That's a lot faster than taking apart 20 pieces of this. Now we can get more silicone spray down in the hole. You want to see? So we've got the wire connector part, and that should come off pretty easy now. I'm going to use these. They're a ring plier that's broken, which means that you don't cut stuff. There we go. That's better. So now we're down to just the same boot that we had before with the others. We'll spray some more silicone. So all I'm doing is I'm going around on the outside of that rubber part. Let's get it to spin around. If it can spin around, you're done. The battle's won, just about. Okay, there's plastic in there that's stuck to that porcelain part, so I'm gonna knock on that. Bust it on each side if you can. If you didn't know what was happening down in the hole, it'd be harder to call on what to do. When you look at the first one that you pull apart and say, okay, well, it's plastic inside a rubber, and there's this part and that part about it. Oh, she's cooked. Look at that. You can't see, but that's really hard. So I tried to make sure that I talked to the owner of this car and say, you know, look, there's some problems going on in this car, and that it needs a tune-up because it's behind on maintenance. I knew in my heart of hearts, based on experience with the overheating, with the miles, and most of all the age, that these were going to be a pain. And if I did get them apart, I'm not going to be able to put it back together and have it run. So I'm saying, heads up, you want to spend the money to do this? And he's like, yep. We talked about compressed air. Let me show you what that does. It just takes all that little black stuff in there, swirls it around, and makes it come out. Let me get out of the way for a sec. Otherwise I'd have to clean the lens. Time is of the essence. Look at what a nice job that did. So look at all that black garbage in there. Ideally you want to close each one back up so you don't blow garbage from one to the other, but it's not that toxic or contagious. And if we were to break a porcelain on the spark plug, we would definitely need to blow that out too. So we got these unstuck, we're putting the new ones in. Now is the right time to make sure that the other ones don't get stuck. Silicone's super heat resistant. It's not going to keep the plastic parts from melting, but you can certainly cause them to not stick. So I take a little bit, put it in the tip, and I'm going to squeeze that on down in there, like that. I usually go around the outer part of this because it can get stuck in the tube, and you can do it here too. This helps to waterproof it, and it also helps to create a barrier so that you don't have some type of arc or leak. Doing this makes it so much easier for the next guy. You don't know if you're a crappy mechanic and you suck. Basically, don't use this, don't bother, it's a waste of money, and your customers aren't coming back anyway. If you have repeat business and you're a good mechanic, do yourself a favor. The owner of the car, the next mechanic, good karma, whatever, because if you have to work on it again, it's going to be nice to know that you can get stuff undone. Also prevents corrosion and stuff. It's just a good thing to do. So dielectric grease and silicone paste are not only cousins, they are actually the same person, the same thing. 3M gave me some of this stuff. I really like they do good stuff. It's expensive. Maybe overpriced, but they do a lot of R&D for the industry, which is good for everybody. Support them, show them some business. They don't pay me to say that, but it's the truth. It's just the way it is. So what happened to the drivability concern, you may ask? Well, the new spark plug wires took care of it. The thing ran like a champ and pulled like crazy.
Bonus footage at the end.